So what I wanted to talk about was one of the most important questions that we get asked. No, not how much it's going to cost. That's also another important question that we get asked. But the secondary question that we get asked is, how long is it going to take? How long is it going to take for the marketing to kick in? But most of the time, clients don't necessarily like the answer that they hear, but it's important to discuss because it really is important to factor it in, and it's the reason why you should start your branding and your marketing well ahead of time, because it does take time. Okay, so let's say that you ask me, well, how long is it going to take for this marketing to kick in? The first thing I would say is, well, it depends. It depends on what we're talking about. Are we talking about paid? Are we talking about SEO and content? Are we talking about branding? If we're talking about paid, a lot of times clients think that it's going to take a week, maybe a month, but that's very wrong. It actually takes anywhere from 90 to 120 days to break even. That's right. That's how long it's going to take for it to really get kick-started. And then it's going to take probably a full 6 months to really see the results of that paid marketing. Yes, you can turn it on at the click of a button, but there's a lot of experimentation, there's a lot of tweaks that have to be made, there's just a lot that goes into getting it to where you want to be and seeing those results that you really want to see. Now, does that mean that when you hit 6 months, you're done? Absolutely not. You cannot get complacent. When you have a great campaign that's yielding the results that you want, you have to continue to experiment, you have to continue to test things, and the market is changing. So you constantly have to be watching and optimizing that campaign. But at 6 months, you can definitely expect to see that you'll be getting a lot more conversions and you'll be hitting a lot more of your goals, and you'll just continue to be on that playing field and continue to optimize as the campaign goes along. All right, so that kind of takes care of the paid, but how about the SEO and the content? Well, that's going to take 6 months. It doesn't mean that you won't see traction. You'll certainly see traction within the first 3 months, but that doesn't mean that you're going to be seeing the conversions that you want to see. So definitely expect, to wait it out for a few months, 6 months really. And then branding. Branding is really the tough one, because branding can take really up to 3 years for you to see the result of all your hard work. And that's why it's so important, and that's why we tell clients you've got to stick with it. It's not going to be at the drop of a hat. It's going to take time, but after 3 years, you will see all that work that you put in. You'll finally see how that is helping to convert clients, because it's building trust, and that's really important. So definitely, we don't recommend put out a brand, don't see the results you want in a year, switch it to a new brand. That's going to hurt, and that's going to start the clock all over again. And the same is true for all marketing. That's why another thing that's very important is to hire the correct marketing agency. Because if you make a mistake and you go through the first 6 months to a year and you have to switch your agency because you realize that they're just not working out, you're gonna have to start the clock all over again, because that new campaign, that new strategy, that's gonna take another set of time. So again, very important, pick the right agency, but also don't be alarmed when your agency tells you it's gonna take time. If they tell you it's gonna take a few weeks, that's when you should be alarmed, and that should be a sign that that's not a good fit. Another thing though, that you wanna look at, are you seeing incremental results? It's not like, I'm not saying that you should say, well, it's been 6 months, where are we now? Certainly not. You should see incremental changes. You should see things improving. As long as you're seeing improvement, as long as you're seeing impressions going up, clicks going up, that's a good sign. That means you're on the right path. So it's working. But don't expect to see the goals that you want to achieve in 3 months. But do expect to see things getting better and improving. As long as you're seeing that, then it's definitely worth the wait, and you'll be very happy by the time that you do see the results kicking in. So again, when you're investing in marketing and you want to ask how long is it going to take, don't be alarmed when you hear 6 months to a year, because ultimately that's probably what it's really going to be.